Hello and welcome to the second episode of Yahoo Footballing Weekly with me, author and Yahoo columnist Neil Humphreys.
And me, Yahoo editor Chia Keong. Welcome to our second episode and thank you for tuning in to the first episode.
We're still here.
Here.
We haven't been kicked off yet.
Yeah, we're still around.
I'm slightly disappointed, if I'm being honest. I expected, more of a controversial outpouring of abuse. But surprisingly, everyone's been nice.
Yeah, very nice, actually.
Yeah, why? Why? Why are you all being
so
nice?
Nasty to us. We can take it, don't worry.
We can agree disagreeably. And speaking of agreeing disagreeably, we haven't had much yet, Keong. I mean, we said something about Fandi Ahmad last week. It's gone a little bit nuts, to say the least.
But most are supporting of us, though.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I have to tell you this. The real highlight for me was Singapore comedian Fucker Fuzz shared what I said about Fandi Ahmad and said, Neil Humphreys spitting the truth.
Spitting, man.
Now, I've told the truth. I've written the truth.
Yes.
I've never spat the truth before.
Until now.
So thanks, Fucker Fuzz. So, you see, this is what happens. When you listen to Yahoo Footballing Weekly, we don't just tell the truth.
We spit it out.
We spit it, man. We spit the truth. And speaking of spitting, we've got a guest, Keong.
Yeah, welcome, Daryl Spykerman, Tottenham fan for more than 20 years. How are you feeling right now?
Hi guys, thanks for having me. Yes, I'm Daryl and I've been a Spurs supporter for 28 years.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
For my sins.
I'm so sorry.
How does it feel to be like constantly disappointed?
Well, it's a bit like being Singaporean, given we're in the National Day week.
Happy National Day week, man.
No one has commented. I'm wearing the colours, but I thought I would mix it up.
Of Spain.
The colours of Spain.
Of Spain.
From the Euro successful.
That doesn't count.
The successful, get it right, the Euro 2012 successful championships. They
I could have
won
a Chinese flag here. I still
come on.
not the same.
Hey, China, Taiwan, cannot. China, Taiwan. Spain can. Spain is safe. Spain is neutral.
Once again, belated National Day to all our Singaporeans. And like Spurs supporters, we are always the underdog, but we will rise to the occasion.
You sounded like a politician then. He was a bit like, once again, I would like to say Happy National Day to all Spurs, only Spurs supporters.
I think only this week we are allowed to be a bit political.
Yeah, my fellow Singaporean.
He's got a real kind of Lee Kuan Yew gravitas about you.
I love it.
But you didn't wish Arsenal supporters a Happy National Day, who also plan the red. So
I'm not seeing behind me.
What's that about? You're not a fan of the
National
Arsenal?
Day, when we say red, doesn't mean you wear Man U, Liverpool and Arsenal jerseys, guys. You have to wear like Singapore, go to Giordano and buy your Singapore top.
He's lecturing
Not
us
your
now.
Man U, Arsenal or Liverpool
If you notice,
jersey.
I'm getting lectured now on my own
Okay, guys,
podcast.
back
It's
to
National Day week.
I wear red and I get lectured. All right, yes. Happy belated National Day to everybody. We will get stuck into some of the comments later. Do keep them coming. You can send them to
Yahoo Southeast Asia YouTube and on Twitter Yahoo SG or Yahoo_MY.
He's almost
TikTok,
got them memorized.
Yahoo
still
SG.
going.
Yeah, okay.
Still going. TikTok as well.
TikTok Yahoo SEA.
Hey, I saw on the TikTok, right? That my video clip that you've cut. Our producer Dominic gets a name check. Good cutting on the Fandi Ahmad clip. It had more views than some K-pop star coming to Singapore. I don't
Jackson
even know.
Wong, man.
Yeah, I don't even know who the K-pop star is, but there was this handsome man in glasses arriving in Singapore next to my ugly face, ranting about Fandi Ahmad. And my comment on Fandi got more hits, views, likes, whatever you call it, than what's his name?
Jackson Wong.
Jackson Wong. So take that.
So thank you very much for supporting us. Anyway, we'll get into it right now. Okay.
Yeah, let's review the first week.
Yeah, first week over. It's time for overreactions after the only one match. Okay, so
let's get into Man U. I just want to give some of our listener comments. Thank you for sending them in. On Facebook, Raymond So says he's a Manchester United fan. He says Man United are a disgrace. They are playing against Brighton and we actually let them dominate us. Speechless. Our old mutual friend Kelvin Pang said, Ten Hag is 10 games from getting the sack. Man U were absolutely horrendous. And on LinkedIn, we've got lots of questions this week. Sean Keong asks, why is Scott McTominay still in the first team? You could probably say that about the other 10 as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
another 10 of them, yeah.
Right, go on, let's get into it. Man U,
yeah,
come on.
But, I mean, they were atrocious against Brighton. I think it was like more of the same like last season, and you can't see where Eric Ten Hag has made his mark. And obviously that frustrates a lot of Manchester United fans. And then even when Cristiano Ronaldo was brought up, I thought he did nothing of note. And obviously you can see the confidence in Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford.
The lack of confidence in those players.
all gone. So
What do you think, Daryl? I mean, once you'd stopped laughing, what did you think?
I think he's trying to get them on the right path. Diego Dalot started ahead of maybe Wan-Bissaka, who would have started normally. They didn't have the target man up front or the focal point up front. So they wanted Martial, but Martial was injured. He didn't want to start Ronaldo because Ronaldo wasn't fit. Maybe he wanted to make a statement. Ten Hag wanted to make a statement to Ronaldo and say, I'm the new manager now. But he had no choice. I think who was up front? Bruno rotating with Eriksen.
Eriksen was a false nine.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell was that?
He's not a centre forward. At Tottenham, he never really played centre forward.
No.
He's a
Never did,
maverick.
never
He's a
did.
number 10. He plays in the hole. So you had a centre forward who's not a centre forward playing as a full centre forward. There was nothing coherent, cohesive, organised, easy to follow. It's another example of Manchester United pinning the donkey blindfolded and seeing if you can get lucky.
Which is why overreaction, yes, but Eric Ten Hag is under pressure right away. Right away.
No, I agree. I agree completely. And I don't think this is an overreaction. I thought Núñez was an overreaction in pre-season. I thought Haaland was an overreaction in pre-season. This is not an overreaction. This is a continuation of long, deeply entrenched problems that haven't gone away. You've changed the manager, but you haven't changed the system, right? I'm thinking about some of their players. Let's go through some of their players that they still haven't replaced, right? Edison Cavani, Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard, Nemanja Matic, Juan Mata. Now, whether you like them or not, you knew they were leaving. Manchester United have known this for months. They did nothing. They have known about this Ronaldo situation for weeks, if not months. They have done nothing. They've known about Harry Maguire, as I said in my Yahoo column. He turns like a trapped tanker in the Suez Canal. We've known about that for ages. They did nothing. There are 4 or 5 clear problems. And to answer Sean's point about Scott McTominay, there's no choice. You play him, you play Fred, 2 holding midfielders.
Why would you play both?
Because there's
If you're at
nobody
home,
else.
You should
I
play
agree.
Eriksen alongside either one of them.
But to do that, you've got to pick Ronaldo. And that brings us back to the other problem. The real elephant in the room is Eric Ten Hag. I said in the column for Yahoo, that was a fascinating game because it was a tale of not only 2 halves, but 2 philosophies. The first half was him trying to move on without Ronaldo. It did not work. Why? Because you're right, Daryl. He doesn't have the players, right? He doesn't have the players. So he ends up playing 2 holding midfielders who are not very fast, who are not very dynamic because he has nobody else. Brings on Ronaldo, drops Eriksen back, yes. But then against a decent team, they'll cut through that one-man midfield easily.
Yeah. And now they want reinforcement. Who are they getting? Marko Arnautovic. That's like
West Ham reject.
West Ham reject, Stoke City reject, and they're trying to get him. He's 33 years old and he's playing for Bologna.
This is what I'm talking about. Deeply entrenched problems.
Yeah.
I have this vision where all the executives are putting all these old man names in the hat, right? And they pull out Cavani, Ibrahimovic, Arnautovic, Ronaldo. I know we've already got him. Arnautovic. I mean, Arnautovic, 33 years old.
Yeah.
£10 million. They have been here so many times before. A last-ditch, desperate, panic-stricken buy because there is no long-term transfer policy, playing structure, philosophy at that club. Nothing has changed, Daryl.
Remember Odion Igalo, Michael Owen?
Yep.
It's all the similar players that they seem to be going for. Just someone who they know would come to Man United and be happy to sit on the bench, come on for a few games in the Cups, in the league when they need a goal. I think that's the only option. They said that Arnautovic worked with Ten Hag and McLaren back in FC20, but that was maybe close to 10 years ago. And I don't know why they haven't moved forward with younger players instead of just relying on older players.
And that's another concern. Ten Hag is his own man. Yes, he wants to bring in his own people. He's brought back Steve McLaren because he knew him from Dutch football. He doesn't seem to think there's any other footballers that exist on the planet if they don't play for either Ajax or B in the Dutch league generally.
Yeah.
So that worries you. Is it because he doesn't trust the existing scouts? They've got like 20, 30 scouts at Man U. They've got a whole structure there. And still, Ten Hag is, no, I don't trust your guys. I want my guys. Either way, something is wrong.
Yeah. In any way, yeah. So many off the field problems, and I think they got Brentford up next, and after that is Liverpool.
Wow.
And if they don't pick themselves up against Brentford, they are in for a very tough time in the next few weeks.
I don't think, Ten Hag's getting fired or anything. That's nonsense because this is not his fault. It's clearly not his fault. But the bigger issue is, firstly, the Glazers are still there. Secondly, they don't seem to have any interest in the team whatsoever. Thirdly, they're like an American cliche. They talk about soccer in the way my wife talks about soccer. I'm still explaining the offside trap after 20 years. It's like talking to the Glazers. They haven't put a philosophy in place, a proper technical director, a proper footballing hierarchy that Liverpool have, that Manchester City put in place before Pep Guardiola even arrived, right? Same with Liverpool after Klopp. So they're back to square one. So I never got caught up with the pre-season hype. Firstly, because it's pre-season. And secondly, the long-standing
Were you
issues.
not impressed with the Bangkok Century Cup?
That's the one thing.
There's the World Cup. There's the Euros and there's the Bangkok Century Cup, right? I mean, I can't choose between them.
Oh.
But that was an overreaction. I mean, that was more of an overreaction than this. This, to me, as I said, is a continuation of long-standing problems. But what do you think? Let us know at all your comments on Manchester United. Is Ten Hag for the chop? Is Harry Maguire slower than a tanker off the South China Sea? Let us know at
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, at Yahoo SG, and at Yahoo_MY on Twitter, TikTok, Yahoo SEA. Yeah.
But I just want to say, I want to give the Man U fans of Singapore, Malaysia, Southeast Asia a little bit of love. Because, this idea that we just come on here to tech on Man U, firstly, yeah, we do. No, we don't. But no, the reason we don't.
Only on his columns.
Yeah, because a good Man U, a competitive Man U, is good for us. It's good for the EPL. It's good for the product. It gives me something to write about every week because tech on every week does get a bit boring after a while. Yeah. So it's good for the EPL to have a vibrant, positive, attacking alternative to Liverpool. He won't admit it because he's a Liverpool fan.
Yeah,
but I'm a neutral.
I'm a
neutral.
No.
I'm a neutral in the room. I'm a grown up.
You can do without them, but never mind. Right.
No. We give them a bit of love. But if they lose to Brentford, you said Liverpool, I don't think it'll be that far. I think full-blown crisis with Man U is week to week. I think they're in full-blown crisis if they lose against Brentford. I don't think it'll go that far. Speaking of crisis, Liverpool.
Well,
come on, rubbish. No.
I mean, it's so ironic. A couple of weeks ago, our assistant manager, Pep Linders, he wrote a book and then released a book called Intensity.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
There's zero intensity in Liverpool in the first half against Fulham. In fact, Fulham are the ones showing intensity. Yeah. It's like, it was a horrible sight for a fan to watch. And
but why? What did you think was wrong?
I think they just haven't woke up. I mean, there's just some teams they take a while to get into the groove. I think.
So Liverpool took a while to get into their groove. Fulham was the excited kid on the first day of school.
Precisely.
Klopp said the pitch was dry. Did you see Fulham replied the next day?
I think that's an excuse.
Lush pitch at Craven Cottage.
Yes, I saw that. It was quite hilarious.
I love Klopp, but he's whining quite a lot lately. He's developing a few Fergie-isms about him. That, everything has to go his way.
Anyway, to deflect the attention.
Yeah, of course.
But to be fair, he also criticized the team's attitude. So I think it's a minor blip. Yes, I mean I have some fans already saying that we are now 2 points behind Man City. We are not going to win the league. Again, overreaction.
Yeah, but I mean you're not. But yeah. Thiago is serious. I mean I don't know how,
that's a big one.
It's a hamstring, right? I don't know how serious it will be.
It also means our midfield is a bit depleted.
And they'll reply on is it Elliot? Elliot's a good player.
Elliot's alright, but he's still too
very
young.
young.
19, 20. So
I don't know if it's financial necessity. But Klopp has said they're not going into the transfer market anymore. I suspect he probably feels that's enough. He doesn't want an Arnautovic situation where you just buy anybody.
Yeah, and then if you get somebody good, it's gonna cost a lot. So maybe he doesn't want to. But that's fine. He's not pressing the panic button. Well, okay, we're fine with that. But they need a better performance next week. And then with Manchester United coming up, it's gonna be I think. It could be a blessing in disguise. I feel they get a kick up their butt for against Fulham. Now they wake up and really get into the season proper.
But Nunes was good.
Nunes made
he
a
came
difference.
on,
Yes,
yeah. When he came on,
it's
I
the
thought it was good.
midfield. I think Fabinho and even Thiago in the first half and Henderson in the first half, they were overrun by Fulham. And I think if other teams are watching, then they're watching Fulham, that might be the concern. The bigger concern is people will say that, oh, okay, this is the way to get into Liverpool.
Fair enough.
And then they try to copy Fulham's tactics. So that might be a worry. But
Yeah. All right. Well, Daryl, to the audience of Asia, as a 28-year-long Spurs fan, tell everybody how wonderful Arsenal are at the moment.
Have you all seen All or Nothing, guys?
We're
think
gonna
I knew how Fulham did it. I know how Fulham
Let's just
prepared for
briefly
the
talk
game.
about Arsenal.
top
yeah.
of the table, man.
I thought they played well, Arsenal. What did you think?
It's gonna say.
I didn't watch Arsenal's game.
too late.
Okay,
It's
on
too late at
behalf
night.
of Arsenal fans everywhere, great start for Arsenal, I thought. I thought they played well. The thing about Arsenal, Keong, that I liked a lot is that they never looked rattled. They never looked like they were going to concede. It's a whole new upside down, back to front, topsy-turvy season so far that I don't really understand. Arsenal looks solid and Liverpool look messy in the midfield and Manchester City's got a Viking playing up front and the only team that's consistent is Man U. Consistently rubbish. So thank you for that, Man U. All right, I'm just kidding. Tottenham, let's get to it.
Top of the table,
Title. Can they do it?
It will be difficult.
You're doing the politician thing again. All right? This is not a PAP rally. You could just say what you think.
It was a great win over Southampton 4-1, but to win the title is definitely difficult to even talk about now because it's only one game in, so many more to go. But it was pleasant to see Spurs win comfortably, even though we went behind. So Southampton actually scored first, but then about 9-10 minutes later, Spurs came back and leveled, took the lead before halftime, and then went on to win 4-1 and also had chances. So Son and Kane had chances, but they didn't score, so not good for the fantasy football players. But other than that, it was a good performance all around from the team, not really pressured by Southampton for much of the game.
There were three things that impressed me about Tottenham a lot, actually. First one, you mentioned that they scored 4 goals without Son Heung-min or Harry Kane scoring. So they've got diverse goal-scoring options, which is terrific. That's the kind of thing you normally associate with Manchester City and Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's a huge, huge plus for them. The second thing, Ivan Perisic, Bissouma, who I like a lot, Lenglet, Forster and Spence all started on the bench. Why is that significant? That's their 5 signings. So he started with 5 new players on the bench and still beat Southampton comfortably. And the third thing, Dejan Kulusevski, apologies for the pronunciation.
Kulusevski.
What a player.
Yeah.
What a signing.
That-
I mean, you've
that is
got Man U fumbling around for an ancient old man Jurassic Park striker, and yet here, under the noses of everybody, Conte pulled that one out. It was in January, right? He
January
signed him in
signing.
January from Juve.
From Juve.
And he was terrific then. The first 5 months of the season, he was terrific.
It was very central to them going to
Correct,
fourth place. Yeah.
absolutely correct. I think assists and goals and
Yep.
were very high. So again, it's a bit like Man U. It's a continuation in a way. It's not entirely a surprise, but he looks fantastic. If he maintains the form, the finesse, the distribution, the class that he showed against Southampton for the rest of the season, he's a Player of the Year contender. You're supposed to say something to that. What do you think?
Definitely. I think Kulusevski, when he joined the club, took some time to adapt to Conte's methods, but then he settled in well. I think finished the season with like 6 goals, 8 assists or something like that. This season, he started well again, and he's someone that, other fans may not talk about as often. Like, Son and Kane, they get all the goals, all the assists. But Kulusevski is the third man in that attacking lineup. And I think Richarlison is the one that will compete with him for starting position. But he's showing Richarlison that it won't be easy.
How
And,
long do you think he will stay a secret weapon?
I think everyone knows what he can do now, and it's not a secret anymore. But yeah, he has that strength on the ball, and he likes to he plays on the right, and then he cuts in onto his left foot, and he's been doing well for Spurs and may long continue.
But you said right there, I mean, the fact you've got Richarlison as a backup,
Yeah.
your strength in depth now is the best it's ever been in
Yeah,
years.
and that's what Conte wants, because last season, who was on the bench? Kids were on the bench, like Dane Scarlett, Harvey White, all these like 19, 18-year-old players. you can't trust them to get you a goal. And that's why we needed all the new signings who will not just walk into the first team, but will compete with the rest of the other players. So Richarlison couldn't play because he was suspended from last season. But he will also be starting on the bench. He'll be rotated. There'll be Champions League games as well to give everyone game time.
Plus, he's going to drill them all to death anyway, right? So he's going to need as much backup as possible. All right, flip it around. What are their weaknesses? What are the things that worry you about their title credentials?
I think what worries me is still if you get Son and Kane injured, who will step in for them. So that will be Kulusevski and Richarlison, and then other than that is Lucas Moura. So in terms of attacking, it can be quite thin after a while. Another worry is maybe centre midfield. Bentancur and Højbjerg started yesterday. If they get injured, then it's Oliver Skip, the youngster, and Bissouma as well.
Good. I like Bissouma.
So I guess you can handle like a regular kind of injury crisis. It's like one player, two players get injured.
Yeah.
But if it gets severe, and then you're in trouble.
Well, do you agree? Do you agree with our completely objective, unbiased Tottenham supporter that they have the credentials to win the title? Let us know your thoughts on Tottenham, Manchester United, and Arsenal, Liverpool at
Yahoo Southeast Asia and YouTube. In Twitter, Yahoo SG, Yahoo_MY, and on TikTok is Yahoo SEA.
By Jove. He might have it. All right, let's move on now. What are we talking about next? We're looking ahead now to next week, the preview for next weekend. Big one for you, right? London derby. First big one of the season. Chelsea against Tottenham.
Conte,
that's right. Back to Chelsea. How do you think that's going to go?
I saw Chelsea's game against Everton. They look good for a team that a lot of them came together. Sterling was starting, Koulibaly was starting. It will be difficult for Spurs, but I think we can still get a draw there. Like a 2-2 draw, man.
He's like a
It will be a 2-2 draw, I tell you. Go to Singapore.
My fellow Singaporeans,
go to Singapore.
I think we can get a draw. 2-2. Is that it? Is that the best you're going to go for? The draw? You don't
That's
think
not optimistic for the 4-1.
I saw the Chelsea game and I saw the Tottenham game, and if honestly, objectively, right now, if they only get a draw, I think Tottenham's going to be disappointed. I think you'll never get a better time to play Chelsea than now.
Yep.
Did you read? I've got to bring this up. Did you read Thomas Tuchel's comments about the curse of the number 9?
Right.
I mean, he should spend more time in the transfer market and less time watching Stranger Things, right? Because it's all about curses and ghosts. And apparently the number 9 is so cursed that players won't even touch it. They won't even touch the jersey.
So they retired the number 9 jersey.
Well, they should retire the comment. I tell you that. I mean, what a load of nonsense. Like, we're living in this upside-down Stranger Things alternate reality where there's this fictional, terrifying demigorgon number 9 terrorising everybody. Whoa. I mean, the only thing I will say is Kai Havertz is playing like he's haunted. I mean, he struggled at the weekend. Mount, well, he's not a centre forward anyway.
Yeah.
Raheem Sterling, I love Raheem Sterling. I've always loved Raheem Sterling, but I'm with Pep Guardiola. He's never seen him as a serious, reliable, goal scoring with the kind of percentages that other forwards have.
Ironically, I mean, after Conte left Chelsea, I think Chelsea have slowly evolved into Man U light. In the sense that, they don't have any solid plan on what to do with the team.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard did a bit of rebuilding, and I thought he might be on the right track, but it's a bad round of results, it's off.
Yeah.
And now Roman Abramovich.
But it's not like Chelsea.
They've both got American billionaires who don't know anything about football.
But it's not like Chelsea. Chelsea haven't tried though. They did get Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, and they even got Lukaku last season. We thought, he'll be the number 9 that they will need to go for the title, but it didn't work out for whatever reason.
And you get a sense that Tuchel is almost like Erik ten Hag. It's like everything is foisted on him.
Correct.
Sterling, Koulibaly, and now he Cucurella also coming in, right? Okay,
Even Lukaku is almost a bit like Ronaldo. I mean, I don't know how much Tuchel had how much of a say he had in buying Lukaku, but clearly he didn't fit the system that Tuchel wanted to play. Just as Ronaldo doesn't fit in the system that Ten Hag wants to play.
And Tuchel is getting increasingly frustrated. He's already sound out that he's displeased with the transfer and everything. This season might be make or break for him. If he doesn't get the team together and then they go on a bad round, that's it. I think he might go. Because he was brought in by Roman Abramovich and not these new American owners. So American owners might be thinking the moment they had a bad run. He's gonna go look for his own manager.
Yeah.
So I think Tuchel, he's on the manager's chopping block right now.
I agree. They lost 2 centre backs. They replaced them with 1. Okay. They could have some. They could profit down the flank with Sterling and Chilwell. I like both players, but look, Tottenham against Chelsea, based on current form, current squad depth, anything other than the Tottenham victory for me is an upset. What do you think?
Upset? I think that
anything other than the Tottenham victory is an upset.
Yeah, I agree.
Are you still, Mr. Politician, going to stick
still
with
on the 2-2, guys.
You're the worst supporter.
Spurs always struggle
your
at Stamford
expectation.
Bridge.
So it's lowering your expectations.
I
So
will
when
call it
they win,
managing,
you're like,
managing of the expectations. Because
uh,
Spurs always struggle at Stamford Bridge for whatever reason. And it's
obviously
Chelsea's
a
first.
long-term Spurs fan tortured
Yeah, seen
long
it all,
enough
you've
by
seen it
all
all,
the
you've
things.
seen it
Seen
all.
This is
Well,
I'm gonna keep calm.
And Chelsea's first home game also.
Let me tell you, when Liverpool were winning the league a few years ago, I had the same thing. It's okay.
No,
it's okay.
I'm just privileged to be sitting beside a politician. It's an honour. It's an honour. All right, this one we will get a semi-serious sort of answer out of you. The highlight of my week this week has been the sight of Arsenal coaches taking out massive speakers to the training ground to play your boys.
You'll never walk alone. Just to prepare.
But you wouldn't call it massive speakers, right? It was just like for your house
but it's loud enough,
set.
it's big enough.
Big
so
enough,
that,
KTV.
And then if you see that, he was saying that people. I was last time when I was playing at Anfield, I hear the crowd. I get a bit blurred. There's a lot of things. So I think we must train the players to be prepared for the Anfield atmosphere. So he brings out a big speakers. And then puts it there and then plays it while they are training.
And you could see the players. This is for the Amazon documentary, All or Nothing, right? And you can see these speakers coming out, and you can see the players going, "What the f is that? What the?" And he starts playing it when you walk, and it is an uplifting song with 60,000 fans in a packed stadium. If you just play at an empty training ground on a wet Wednesday morning, it can be quite dreary.
And here's the kicker.
Yeah, well,
but it makes sense though. You could see the logic in it, but they are Arsenal Football Club, and they are a top team.
Yeah,
they are not a Sunday league team.
Correct,
right? So why do you do that?
And here's the kicker. And when I'm looking at it, I said that is a very weird way to train for Anfield. And I keep thinking, what was the score at Anfield? Oh, Liverpool won 4-0.
Oh, shit. And that's where they missed the trick.
Yeah.
I mean, people listening or watching may be familiar. There's a cult movie, Mike Bassett, England manager. You can see it on YouTube. It's absolutely hilarious. Yes. It's one of my favourite football movies.
My favourite too.
There is this spectacular scene in the middle of the film where the England manager, Mike Bassett, is screaming at the England players because they're 2-0 down to the Mexicans at half-time. Yeah. And you got to get out there, and you got to wear the shirt, and you got to do this.
Very colourful.
Right, and he's screaming and swearing, and you got to wear the shirt. You're 2-0 down to the Mexicans, and if you don't get out there and show some pride and show some respect, you'll never wear an England shirt again. Pause, perfect comic beat, and then the voiceover says, England went on to lose the game 4-0. That should have been the line in the Amazon documentary, right? You should have had "When You Walk," and it should have blasted around the Arsenal training ground. And Mikel should have been there like, "You got to put up with this fight, and you've got to face Anfield, and you've got to face this Raw." Arsenal went on to lose the game 4-0. They missed the trick, man.
Don't you love that moment? Didn't you laugh?
And this game that Arsenal lost 4-0 at Anfield, Arteta was the one who sort of got riled up and lost his cool on the touchline. And then from there, Liverpool took advantage, or the Arsenal players were off it and all that. So it still comes back to him. Maybe it's too much all about him. Like he said in the documentary that when he was playing and then he went to Anfield, he had a blur for this period and he couldn't coordinate himself and everything. Maybe it was with Arsenal, maybe it was with Everton for whatever reason. But he is the one with the issue, not really the players.
Not really the players.
But it doesn't work anymore. These fly-on-the-wall documentaries, they don't work anymore. And I tell you why. Because we're in the TikTok generation where my daughter can see behind the curtain. She knows it's not natural. She knows there's an artificial element to this. Even teenagers watching this will know there's a cameraman pretending to listen over there. There's a producer on his phone over there, not really listening to what I'm saying right now, you see? So this is what people know there's someone behind the curtain, there's someone behind the camera.
Right.
So, for example, the Tottenham one last year, there was that viral clip where there was radio commentary playing while Mourinho's in his
Mourinho
office, and Mourinho is flogging a dead horse going back to Tottenham,
Hey,
and
listen.
they've got Mourinho going. Doing these terrible bad wayang acting for the.
we know
for
it's
the-
scripted. I guess
Well,
everyone
it's
knows
not
it's
scripted.
scripted.
The camera wasn't in the room when that commentary was playing. The odds of them having a camera set up just as someone is savaging Mourinho on the radio is 1,000,000 to 1. They just replayed it in his office and said, Mourinho,
yeah.
please react like a bad Channel 8 actor to this.
So as a Spurs fans, and you saw those all or nothing documentary, how do you feel about going behind the scenes? Do you feel excited? Or it's like it doesn't tell me anything new.
I think you didn't learn much from it, but it was still interesting to see the behind the scenes because you see the players in the cafeteria every day coming in and then having their meals, having their training. Daniel Levy was there. He made an appearance.
You nearly made me spit out my water then. Look, I love my football, but I'm not going to switch onto Amazon to watch people eat their pasta at the canteen. Wow, look at that. Declan Rice
at
is having
that, bro.
bananas for breakfast. Come on, there's got to be more to it than that, right? I mean, I respect Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp said, the day Liverpool signs any of these TV contracts to do with, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gone. I don't think you should do it. I don't see anything to be gained from it. It's only the lesser clubs like Tottenham and Arsenal who are going to do it to try and reach a broader fan base. But I don't honestly think a kid in Dakota or Delhi or whatever is going to go, wow, Harry Kane eats cornflakes for breakfast. I'm now a Tottenham supporter forever. I just can't see it. I can't see it.
I think it just gives them like more content. It's just more content that if you wanted, you could find it there.
Yeah, but how much content do we need, right? I mean, they're on
Well,
Instagram.
for fans, it's never
if they
enough.
pick
Yeah,
their nose,
that's
it's on
right.
Instagram. If they fart, it's on Instagram. I mean, everything is on Instagram
if
anyway.
Liverpool ever made one, I don't think they will under Klopp. But if they ever made one, I'll be the first one. Like, Amazon, I'm signing up
Yeah,
for it.
signing up for
But
that.
this is just to satisfy my.
Yeah, you will
my-
sign
my
up for
fan-
that 1
my
month,
fan
that
thing.
30
But-
days.
I'm not that excited
But-
to see West Ham,
West Ham all or nothing.
eating breakfast.
But I'm glad Liverpool are not. They can concentrate on playing football.
Kurt Zuma kicking a
Oh,
few
yeah.
felines.
I mean, we saw what happened with the cat,
Yeah,
right?
the cat.
Well, what do you think, folks? Let us know. Do you want to see your club eating breakfast at the canteen every morning? Do you think Amazon documentaries are a right or a wrong thing? Or do you think Mikel Arteta should never have played You'll Never Walk Alone before playing Liverpool? Let us know at...
Again, you know the
I don't. Tell us. I don't know. I don't
Yahoo
know.
Southeast Asia
Yeah.
and YouTube Yahoo SG Yahoo _MY in Twitter.
Yeah.
On TikTok is Yahoo SEA. So many different. You can just type Yahoo, anything comes out. See?
You may mock, my friend. You may mock, but all of those platforms enjoyed a deluge of comments, I am told.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. After we move on to our local section, our Singaporean, Southeast Asian / Asian football section, we can't kick off without briefly returning to Fandi Ahmad, because I said on this show last week that I believe that Fandi Ahmad should have a statue outside the National Stadium. And it went a bit nuts,
Yeah,
Keong. What
it did.
happened? You said there was loads of
I
TikToking.
mean, on the TikTok, we cut a small clip on the TikTok, and then it just got 200 over comments, either agreeing or disagreeing with Fandi having a statue. So many comments, and let me read out some of them.
What do you mean disagreeing? Who disagreed?
Oh, you never
All right,
know.
get to the disagreeing after.
So there's somebody called Abdul Rashid who says, get a road named Jalan Fandi Ahmad on the road towards the stadium, which is a very, very good idea.
Yeah, Jalan
I totally
Fandi Ahmad.
agree.
I'll take that, yeah.
Yeah. Then Han Not Solo, I love your handle, says, name a stand or section in the National Stadium in Fandi's name. Another great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, since you don't want to spend money on a statue, commissioning a statue or whatever, just paint one place Fandi Ahmad.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not
That's
bad.
all
I'm
right
okay
too.
with
That's
that.
all right
Yeah,
too.
I'm okay with that.
But Jeffrey Ho 692 says, Fandi is nothing.
Nothing.
Joseph Schooling, Low Kian Yu, at least they are world champions. Come on.
Okay, Jeffrey, great opinion. I mean, everyone's entitled to it. But firstly, Alan Shearer's not a world champion. He has a statue outside St James's Park. Many footballers have statues outside their clubs, but they are not world champions. You have to go like for like. That's a little bit comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah, I mean, Joseph Kooning and Lokene obviously lifted the Singapore fans also obviously with their world championship and Olympic
and
goals,
it's not all or nothing. Hey, Amazon, it's not all or nothing. You can have both. We're not saying Vardy can have one, but Joseph cannot. We should have a whole series of statues, a Hall of Fame at some point.
Vardy is 60 already. Joseph and Lokene are still in their 20s. They still got a long way to go. And then eventually we'll get around putting a statue for them. But Fundy first lah.
Fundy first, because he was the first.
Yeah.
That's the point. He put Singapore football on the map.
Yeah.
And whether we like it or not, it is still our national sport. Daryl, what do you think?
I think definitely we have to give tribute to all these sportsmen. Fundy definitely being the one that sticks out for all Singaporeans. The Malaysia Cup years, even in the S League he played for a while and then managed SAFFC and all that. We do need to, honor these players well. Yeah, instead of like forgetting about them and then just moving on.
I totally agree with you. And more than anything is to remember him properly, for the things he has, for the contributions he has done wholeheartedly for Singapore football. And I tell you, from the likes of it, we might not be getting a Fundy anytime soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Recent football results under 16 and under 19 Singapore went. Just in Southeast Asia. It's a Southeast Asia Championships. We lost 9-0 to Indonesia.
Yeah, I saw that. 9-0.
We lost 5-1.
What age group was that?
That's under 16.
Under 16.
Lost 5-1 to Vietnam. That's also under 16. Under 19, lost to Timor-Leste 1-0. And lost to Laos 3-1. Wow, which is, this is Mino's level already. So our football is currently at the Mino's level. So, I doubt we can. I don't know how long will we get a next Fundy, and we definitely need to remember him.
Yeah.
And so right now, which brings me to a topic about the Unleash the Raw project. The one to rebuild.
Just explain what that is briefly.
So it's a project that FAS Football Association of Asia started, of Singapore started, that you to rebuild Singapore to. The Singapore football from the roots. They're gonna have sports football schools, academies, and then essentially to rebuild Singapore football, which has been bad for a while. The thing is, it started last year and there's been very small developments, and then here's the clincher: they wanted to make the World Cup in 2034, which I think defeats the purpose of this kind of rebuilding project, because you can't put a timeline to such rebuilding things. It's a good idea, and I think this rebuilding project should have started after the Goal 2010. Because from 2010 to when it started last year, 2021, aimless. Singapore football has been aimless, and you need this kind of thing to at least get it back going, get the Singapore football moving in a direction. But putting a timeline of 2034 World Cup, it's a bit. You don't know how many obstacles you have during the rebuilding process. It's not smooth sailing as you wish. It will never be that smooth sailing, and that's why I think, yes, idea is good. Unleash the Raw, I think it's necessary even, but don't put a timeline to this.
No, I agree. And there are some positives. I was reading that they've just started the National Football Project that for the kids. The academy program has started. 300 secondary 1 and 2 boys from 10 secondary schools. They're going to include 1,400 girls. Set up regional youth tournaments. So those things are moving in the right direction. Where I do agree with you, Keong, and get your thought on this, Daryl, is this obsession in Singapore with timelines and KPIs and ticking boxes. A team qualifying for the World Cup is not building an airport. It's not building a housing estate. Nope. It's not building a shopping mall. You can't put the days till completion, no casualties like we do on every construction site.
But it's very Singaporean. It'll be like 1 million man hours without any incident
but then the world laughs at you. I remember doing, as a young reporter, so does Keong, I remember covering Goal 2010.
Yeah, when it was launched
in 1999.
or 99, yeah.
Everyone in the office knew it wasn't going to happen. You know, to go from naught, it's not even naught to 60, it's naught to the moon, right? To go from not even getting past the early rounds of Asian qualification, the very earliest rounds in the late 90s, to reaching the World Cup in 2010 was utterly absurd. But to put dates on it, KPIs, tick boxes, you end up putting yourself in a corner. You pigeonhole yourself. You know, you literally give yourself a straitjacket that you can't get out of.
Yeah, but I guess on the flip side, right, then how will you measure the success or the progress of the project that you're undertaking? I guess that's what, you know, they will come back and throw at us. But it makes sense in a way. What we want is to improve Singapore football, to elevate it. So if you look at the standings, we have fallen in the past 20 years. You know, we want to rise. We want to be surely the top in Southeast Asia, surely up there challenging in Asia. And the only way to do that is to have better players. It seems that being based in Singapore doesn't really work. You really need to send them overseas to train.
True.
That is easy to say, but then you have to handle national service. You know how you're going to do that then? Whatever it is, you still have to come back, you know, up to 2 years and finish national service. Can that be worked around with MINDEF? I think we saw previously the Ben Davies issue is not easy as well. There's so many issues that you will encounter that you need to know how to address this. So FAS needs to know how can they overcome all these issues before they have the plans and the vision for this.
Well, let's talk about that. You say unleash the raw. There is a kid, 18 years old, who is unleashing the raw right now for Wolverhampton Wanderers in the English Premier League. Last week, with impeccable timing, a kid called Harry Birtwistle had his first experience in the first team in a pre-season friendly, I must add. He's still in the under-18s. I went on the Wolves website. The under-18 coach, Steve Davis, speaks very highly of this kid, Harry Birtwistle. He's a fullback defender, and he's Singaporean. He's a Singaporean citizen as we sit here now.
Yep.
But, there's always a but, he's in the process of renouncing his citizenship. So we could be in this unbelievably ironic situation where we're unleashing the raw, and there's this kid literally roaring, could make his debut in the English Premier League for Wolverhampton Wanderers in the same year that he renounces his Singapore citizenship. Now, I know people listening will say, because we live in such binary times, you've got to argue and scream and rant. He's pro-Singapore, he's anti-Singapore, he's pro-NS, he's anti-NS, you know. I don't even want to get into that. I just think it's so sad that we have an 18-year-old Singaporean right now who is a step away from making history playing for an English Premier League club, and he's about to renounce his citizenship. Rather than point fingers and blame this one and that one and this thing and that thing, we should look at it, we should discuss it, and we should come up with answers so we do not lose the next Harry Birtwistle. What do you think?
Well, I think So it is. I mean, when I broke the news, I was like thinking that he haven't ever officially told me that they are going to renounce the thing, but they said they are in the process of discussing with MINDEF on this. So, but eventually, I think a couple of days later, MINDEF came out to say that they are not really approved of him deferring for his career. So it seems like it's going that way. So. And I agree with you. I think it is a shame that no compromise can come out of this.
Let's just have the conversation.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to get in the whole NS good, NS bad. I haven't done it. I have to hold up my Angmo-ness in the room and acknowledge I defer to you two on NS. So I know it's a sensitive issue, but all I'm saying is we've got an 18-year-old boy who, as we sit here today, is Singaporean citizen. He's got a British father and a Singaporean Chinese mother, and he's about to make his debut possibly this season for a Premier League club, make history.
High chance.
In the same year he's going to renounce his citizenship, Daryl. It's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking, but given the conditions, he needs to remain in England, with the club to continue his development. He can't come back to Singapore. He will lose his contract with Wolverhampton. If you put that, on balance, then to give him a chance at playing top level football, you can see why he wants to renounce his Singapore citizenship and continue with Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's not the situation that we want as Singaporeans, but these are the issues that FAS, needs to address and be upfront about it. Can they work something with MINDEF? If they really can't, if they can't differ,
Exactly.
Because
Unleash the Raw, when it was first announced, they definitely they did say that they want to work with MINDEF to get all these issues sorted out. How they can reach a compromise. So far, it hasn't been. We haven't seen anything from that yet, and I think it's gonna take a while, definitely. But I mean, I don't know how much it will affect Harry Whistle, but the next one that comes out, and there might be plenty more who will come up in the next few years.
I think it only works if they are based in Singapore then, right? So
but-
if they're only training with the local clubs here and then they are serving NS, then maybe they get time off to go for training.
Or maybe the clubs.
I think that's the best we can hope for.
But or maybe the clubs that FAS can reach a compromise with the clubs, come back during off season or whatever things. I don't know.
It's an awkward conversation we need to have because to progress and reach the level required, they have to leave Singapore. But to fulfill their national service obligations, they have to come back to Singapore. It's chicken and egg. We're going to go round and round. Just tell us what you think. What do you think about not just Harry Whistle, but the issue generally? How are we going to unleash that roar if we keep losing footballers like Ben Davies and potentially Harry Whistle? Let us know at Last time.
He's going to unleash it.
Last time. Unleash the roar.
Yahoo
Unleash the
Southeast
roar.
Asia on YouTube, Yahoo's SG, Yahoo_MY on Twitter, and Yahoo SCA on TikTok. Yeah.
And we do appreciate your comments and questions. Please keep them coming in. We will try to address as many as we can next week. Daryl, thank you for coming on, my friend.
Thank you guys for having me.
Right. And thank you for
very
listening and watching. We will see you same time next week.
Yeah. Happy National Day week.
Majulah, Singapura.
There you are. Very good.
You are the best, man.